Hey, welcome back. Last episode, y'all see me finally get a set of seats for the back of this van. You also saw me struggle, because I was, with a drive shaft out of that Jeep Grand Cherokee. The drive shaft's not supposed to be here for another couple of days. So, meanwhile, I thought we'd go ahead and see if I can get the old leather covers on these new manual seats. And then if we've got enough time before the drive shaft comes in, I'm going to hop over on that Odyssey and just clean it up and see if I can't get it listed for sale. I'm not going to do much to it. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it, so I'm not going to put any money in it. So we're going to just, clean it nice and make it look decent, because it does run and drive good. It doesn't have any check engine lights or anything like that. So let's get to work and see how it goes. So here's the seat I got yesterday. This is the other part of the seat. I've had this for, as long as I've had the van. I've had it apart basically the entire time too. So I took it apart trying to fix it. And I probably, no joke, probably got like 9 hours, 10 hours invested in trying to get it to work. And then I was like, forget it. And I just stopped. So hopefully I can get this done. I'm not an interior guy or an upholstery guy or whatever. So I'm going to throw y'all on a stand and put you on time lapse, and I'm going to struggle through it. You can watch me. I'm not exactly sure how much of that you could see. Hopefully it was enough in framed where you could tell what I was doing. Nonetheless, it's together, and it works. So I'm going to toss it in and go ahead and drag the other seat in. I'm just going to do it off camera, and then I'll show you what it all looks like and whatever when I'm finished. Well, the sun is shining right in on me. You can see my shadow or whatever, but I got all this working. Sorry about that, but we're good. And that's pretty much where we're at. So vacuumed all this out and cleaned it up just because I was back here. So I'm gonna call the inside of this thing done, and we'll wash it tomorrow maybe. Yeah, I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. Hey, it's the next day. I'm going to wash this van. We're going to call it done as far as all that I'm going to do, really. Oh, I did forget. My brother's putting tires and doing an alignment tonight at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whenever he gets out of work, whatever. So that'll be done. I may catch that on film. I may not. I don't know. But I figured we'll go ahead and wash this thing and wrap it up. And then I'm going to move on to that van and get it done, so we can see if we can get it sold, so we can make some monies. So anyways, let's get to work. Look at that shine. This is much better. Yeah, it could still use some paint correction, but I ain't gonna do it because you know, it's white. Everything shows on white. So yeah, when you buff it out, any little, so there's a little black mark right there. That'd buff out, but I ain't much worried about it right now. Someday maybe I'll hit it with a buffer, but ooh, she looks so much better. All right, well, I'm going to move it and move the gray van up and buff those headlights. So let me catch you up on the Odyssey, and we'll do a walk around before we get started. So 07 Odyssey, 278,000 miles or so. Actually runs and drives pretty good. Power steering pump makes a little bit of noise occasionally. Nothing crazy. Leaks a little bit of oil. There again, nothing crazy. We've had it for, like I said, about 7 years. I don't know, maybe longer. Leather. This thing was pretty loaded for an 07. I had to get my trash out of here. There's a few little pieces here and there. Doesn't have nav, but it has the rear entertainment, aka a DVD player. You know, there's the seat from that junkyard that I picked up. I'm gonna have to return it, but you know, it's a really good van. One of my favorite things is the noise it makes when you try to shut this passenger side sliding door, but it always works on the second pull. So I don't know, it's been that way the whole time we've had it, and I don't mind. So yeah, pretty clean van though. It's got some hail damage on this side. I don't know if y'all will be able to see that or not, but there again, you know, I'm gonna price the thing for like $2,500. I know that it runs and drives good. I know it's, you know, been a great van for us. And for $2,500, if you've ever searched for a van, that's pretty reasonable in my part, so, you know, my area. So, but the headlights are really in bad shape, and externally, that's probably the worst looking part of the car. I mean, they're just foggy. So I'm gonna set y'all up, and we're gonna wet sand them and buff them and see if we can't make them look better. So this method is not the best method. The best method is to sand them down and clear coat them with professional grade auto body clear. That turns out the longest lasting. But I can tell that this has actually already been cleared once before. So we're going to sand it and buff it. That's the second best way, in my opinion. So we'll do both. We'll do this headlight, and I'll show you how it's done, and we'll go to the next side. I like to start around a 1500 grit on something this rough. Let me see if I've got 1500 grit in here. 1500 sandpaper, wet, dry. Use whatever brand you like, don't matter. And I always fold mine to about that size. Get it wet, sand it down. My next step is going to be to start buffing it with Ultra Cut Compound. You get this at Harbor Freight, Amazon. It's available everywhere. And then I'm going to use this small buffer that I've got. It's really good for headlights just because it's small. You can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see all this here? That's the old clear coat that they put on it. I'm hoping when I hit it with a buffer, it'll buff back and be fine. Because I don't want to have to sand all of it off because that'll take a while. So we're going to hit it with this and we'll see how it turns out. And we'll go from there. I'm going to upgrade to my full-size buffer because this little guy is just not going to cut it. See, we're going to tap him now. What do you think? Worth it? Didn't cost me anything but a little bit of time, and that'll drastically change how good the vehicle looks when it comes time to sell it. So, is it perfect? No. That small buffer I've got, I've done these before, and it usually does a pretty good job, but it's, I don't know, it's a couple of years old, and it's losing its luster, so to speak. But that big buffer, man, it just cuts right through it all. I just didn't want to drag an electrical cord out here at first. I'm going to go ahead and hit this side up and wrap it up, and we'll go from there. Well, there's the other side done. Much, much better. I'm going to have to wrap it up for today and go to my brother's. I think we're still on for that to get the tires put on that van, and yeah, we'll be back on this tomorrow. I showed you yesterday, I had this thing on the rack. Actually, we were taking it down when I shot that video. Got the new tires on, got the alignment done. She runs and drives great. So this one's done. I stamp it done. So I'm going to move it down the driveway and get the floor mats out of the Odyssey. I'm going to lay those out. I'm going to pressure wash them just to get as much staining and stuff out of them as we can. And then we'll clean all the inside of that Odyssey, wipe the door jambs down, and give it a wash. I got them all laid out. They're pretty gross. I'm going to hit it with some purple power and a drill brush, and then fire up the pressure washer and hit them. And I'm sure they'll look better than this. Then we'll lay them out in the driveway and just let them dry. That's my plan, or maybe even over here on the wall, just someplace they can just air dry. So get to work and get this done. They are much better. Of course, they just got blown around while I was pressure washing them. And that one's got a little dirt on it from getting blown off the ground. But yeah, much better. We'll move these over and just let them dry, and we'll look at them when they're done drying and we put them in. All right, so I'm inside the Honda. The inside's not terrible. I mean, not great, but not terrible. So I'm just going to wipe it all down and clean it up, make it fresh and shiny in here. And then the last thing I'll do inside will be the carpet. I may try to clean a spot or two of that. There's a few little stains that they're not terrible, but just trying to make it as good as we can get it, so I can get all the money out of it I can. So it does have a crack in the windshield, but look how low it is. I never replaced it because it was just the spot it's in doesn't bother me at all. So, all right, so I'm in the Honda. The interior is not terrible. I'm just going to wipe it all down right quick, and we'll go from there. So yesterday I had to stop and go do some paperwork, had to transfer some titles and stuff. Anyways, so I had to stop working. But today I've recruited some help. I'm going to make her work really, really hard because mostly this is her mess. Anyways, the drive shaft for the Cherokee has still not arrived. It was supposed to be in here yesterday. It's still not here. So that Jeep isn't going to make it on this video because I'm running out of time. But anyways, we're going to get back to work and see if we can clean this thing up and get it ready to sell. All right, I've hit the good enoughs. Sometimes you just have to know when to stop. And the stains that are left in there, it's actually mud. It's just red clay mud. That's just where we live. I think it's packed in and whatever. And if it ever gets wet, it just stains everything. Of course, this is like almost white carpet. It's so light gray. But it is much, much, much better than it was. I also did the front. So I think the next thing, I'm going to flip that back seat back up and we'll try to clean it. And then I'm going to clean these seats and put them back in. I may get my daughter back out here, see if we can get the glass clean. She abandoned me. Well, I spent several hours cleaning the interior the other day. It ain't bad. I mean, there's some staining still on that carpet, but it's plenty good enough. I'm gonna wipe all the door jambs down and pressure wash all that, and then we'll pressure wash the outside of the van, and it's done. That'll be 2 vans done this week. Score. I would like to apologize for the wind. I know it's going to be bad. So there's a big storm blowing in. It's supposed to start actually raining here really soon, but I thought I'd get some video and some pictures of this thing done so I can put it on the internet and get it sold. But thought I'd show it to y'all. It turned out pretty good for what it is. I've still got just a thing or two in here that I got to get out, but that's the hood prop. The thing that holds it in is broke, so I'd forgotten about that until now. Well, actually, until the other day when I was working on it, but whatever. It's not that big a deal. Also, I have the headrests for this. I got to dig those out. We took them off for the cars to have the car seats in here, but I'll dig them out and put them back in. I've had those things stored for 7 years, So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Well, it's pouring down rain outside. I knew it was going to. Drive shaft finally did come in for this, but it was way too late to get it done this week. So next week we'll be back on this, and hopefully we can get it knocked out and get it ready to sell too. Anyways, thanks for watching.